Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at the very basics of using the Morph transition to create a sort of animation effect in Microsoft PowerPoint, and we're going to look at the secrets of making this Morph transition work. The Morph transition is a little bit different to other animation effects because most animation effects work within a single slide, but the Morph transition works between slides, so you need more than one slide to make it work. I've got a single blank slide here, so I'm just going to right click on this one. I'm going to add another new blank slide. With these two slides, I can create a Morph transition. To have something to morph, I'm going to the Insert tab, I'm going to Shapes, and I'm just going to draw out a rectangle on this slide. I'm going to change its color. I'm going down to this slide, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to position the rectangle in a different location, and I'm going to give it a different color. So to apply our Morph transition, I'm going to click on one of these slides and shift click on the other. I'm going to Transitions and I'm just going to click Morph. And you can see already what this transition is going to look like when we play the slideshow. Just going back up to select the first slide and let's play the slideshow. As soon as I click to move to the second slide, the rectangle is moving location and morphing from a large rectangle to a smaller one, and it's changing color. So let's add another blank slide here. So I'm just going to add new slide. I'm going back to the Insert tab. I'm going to Shapes. This time I'm going to add a circle. And I think we'll come over here for our circle. And I'm going to give it a different color. To include it in the Morph transition, I'm going to have to select all three slides. Click on the last one, shift click on the first one, or you can do it in the reverse order and go to Transitions Morph. Now let's see what happens when we play this. The rectangle's morphing just perfectly, changing color, doing exactly what we expect it to do. When I go to the next slide, it doesn't work exactly the same way. The shape is not morphing from one shape to the other, it's not moving across the screen, and it's not changing color. And the reason for this has to do with the names of the shapes. So I'm going back to the Home tab on the ribbon. I'm going to the Select tool here and I'm going to click on Selection Pane. You're going to need this to be open to finesse your Morph transitions. So here we've got a rectangle. It's called Rectangle 2. On this slide, this one's called Rectangle 1. And right now, with only two rectangles involved, that's enough for PowerPoint to recognize when you use the Morph transition that you really want to go from one shape to the other. But when we're down here on this slide, you can see that this name has nothing to do with rectangle, and that's the problem. Now, if I want these shapes to seamlessly morph from one to the other, it's a really good idea to get into the habit of naming them correctly. So I'm going back to the first shape here. I'm going to click on its name here in the selection pane, and I'm going to remove the current name. I'm going to type 2 exclamation marks, which are also called bangs. So you want 2 of them, and just be aware that these shape names are case dependent. So if you use capital letters on one, you have to use capital letters on the other. I'm just going to call this my shape. I'm going to come down here to this shape and I'm going to call it exactly the same thing. 2 exclamation marks and then my shape using the same capitalization. And we'll do that the same for the circle. Now let's go back and run the presentation. So the rectangles are working perfectly, and now the rectangle to circle transition is working perfectly too. Now it's really important to get used to naming your shapes, not only when you've got something as simple as this, but sometimes you may want your shapes to sort of cross over. Let's go back to this particular slide and let's insert a different shape. I'm just going to add a small star here, and I'm going to come in here and name it. I'm just going to call it My Star, and we'll go to this slide here and we're going to add another shape, and it doesn't matter what shape I use because we're just going to name it the same thing, so it will transition seamlessly. So I'm going to use this sort of shape here, color it a different color, and then I'll give it the same name as the star on the previous slide. And then we'll move to the last slide and add another shape and name it the same name as we're using for this second shape on each slide. So now we've got the secondary shapes that we've added to these slides all named the exact same thing. Let's see what the transitions look like this time. You can see that the star moved, changed shape, changed color, and so too did the rectangle. And then it's going to work again on the next slide. And the secret to this is just naming things correctly. Now you can also do this with photographs, for example, but to do it with photographs and have them move around, you'll need to put them inside shapes. So let's just add a new blank slide here, and let's go and add a shape to contain our photograph. In this case, I'm going to use a circle, but I'm going to make it a sort of half circle. So I'm going to make my shape really quite big here, and I'm just going to push it off to the edge of the slide. Now I need to name it the exact same name as the shape on the previous slide that I want it to morph into. In this case, I'm going to use the My Star name. I'm going to add a picture to it, so I'm going to right click and choose Format Shape. I'm going to the Fill and I'm going to use a picture. I'm going to insert, I'll use a stock image. I've got this stock image here of blueberries. I'm just going to click on it and insert it. One of the problems with this picture is going to be that the picture was actually wider than it was tall, and I'm trying to put it into an object that is basically square. A circle is sort of like a square. You can see it's distorted somewhat. So I'm going to double click on the picture and I'm going to the crop tool. Just going to stretch this out a bit so that it is in better proportions, and just click crop. So there is my shape. The shape is named in the selection pane. We'll make sure that all 4 of these slides has the morph transition associated with it. And as you can see, it's working just fine. Let's go and play the presentation. And the final transition should see this cloud appear over here as a circle filled with a blueberry image. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, one of the other things that you can do with the Morph tool is have things move in at different speeds. What I'm going to do is just quickly create a new blank presentation. I'm just going to change this layout to blank. I'm going to insert shape, and I'm going to insert a shape so that I can then add an image inside my slideshow. I'm going to right click this and go to Format Shape, and we're going to fill it with a picture. Let's just close this panel down, and I'm going to just shrink things so I can see things a bit better. I'm going to put this image here over on this very far side of the slide, so that when the slide appears, it's going to be cut off. So just the half of a blueberry is going to be showing here. Now I'm going to duplicate my slide because that has the benefit of automatically naming these 2 shapes exactly the same thing. So if I go to the selection pane here, you'll see that this is oval 4 and so is this oval 4. So it saves me having to rename anything because the naming is already in place. I'm going to take this first blueberry, I'm going to move it out of the way. So I'm going to shrink my slide down quite a bit, and I'm just going to put it here so that when the morph transition works, what's going to happen is that the blueberry is going to move across the slide and then finish up on the edge of the slide. So let's see how that's going to look. I'm going to select my slides and apply the morph transition to it, and then let's play the slideshow. So this is the first slide, it's empty. And now the blueberry is just running across the slide and finishing up in a position on the right of the screen. Now I can have more than one thing move, but it's going to behove me to name my objects before I do that. So I'm just going to come in here and call this oval 4. I'm going to make sure that this one here is also called oval 4. Again, making sure the capitalization is the same and that the spacing is the same. So now I want another shape that's going to come in. So I'm going to insert and shapes. I'm just going to do another small circle, but I'm going to start this from this side. I'm going to name it. In this case, it's oval 6. I'm going to copy it so that it has, hopefully by the time it arrives over here, the same name. I'm going to right click and paste it, and you can see that the name is sticking. So now I need to determine where I want this one to end up. I'm just going to place it up here in the top corner. So let's see what this slide transition is going to look like. The blueberry is going to come from here and end up over here, and this shape is going to come from here and end up over there. Now if we want it to move faster, what we can do is make the distance it travels further. So this one's going to move very fast, and if I bring this one in very close, then it's going to move a lot slower because it has less distance to go. So this is the first blank slide. I'm going to click to move to the second slide. You can see that this one moved very fast and this one moved quite slowly. So by naming shapes and then controlling their position and the amount of distance they have to cover, you can have shapes moving very fast and a lot more slowly using this morph transition. And of course you can speed up or slow down your morph transition by applying the morph transition and then coming over here and setting the duration. You can see it's running as a 2-second duration. You can make it faster or slower. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results every time, then you'll love my other YouTube videos. So give this video a thumbs up and click to subscribe to the channel. And on the screen now, you'll see a video that I've handpicked for you to watch next.